Hi everybody. I'm here today to talk to you about the Lady in White. So the Lady in White is a female spirit who is always seen dressed in white, and she's generally associated with some kind of tragedy. So usually it is the loss of her daughter or her husband, her fiance. Sometimes it's the loss of her father even. And this loss subsequently caused her to take her own life. So there's different versions from around the world. So in some versions, she becomes a phantom hitchhiker. So she'll like get rides with people, and this is how they kind of interact with the spirit. Sometimes she's just seen in different places. And sometimes she interacts in other ways, but it just kind of depends on which version of the legend that you're hearing. So she's like really common everywhere in the world, but most predominantly you hear these stories in the United States or Ireland or Great Britain. But if you look it up, you can see different stories from all over the world that kind of focus on the same idea, which is really, really interesting. This legend actually is so popular that a lot of different things in pop culture kind of take the story and use it. So, like the pilot episode of Supernatural is about a lady in white. The Grudge movies are actually about a lady in white, which is crazy to me because normally I don't associate her with being very scary. But yeah. And then the Scary Movie 2 movie actually parodied The Lady in White, so that's kind of interesting. Um, so there is lots of different versions of the story, but I'm going to talk a little bit about one story from Canada and one from the US. So in Canada, at the top of the Montmorency Falls near Quebec City, it is said to be haunted by a lady in white. So the story is that a young woman and her fiance would meet at the top of these falls quite frequently. And her fiance was a soldier, and he was killed in battle. And she was so devastated that she put on her wedding dress and climbed to the top of the falls and threw herself off into the water below. And of course, she died, and now she is said to haunt this area. Now, it's kind of interesting because the story is so popular and so told so much that they actually named one of the smaller waterfalls after this legend. So it's kind of interesting. So yeah, if you go there and you see her, be sure and let me know, because that would be kind of cool. And then in the US, in Rochester, New York, there is a lady in white that's said to haunt a park. And she is from the 19th century. She's also known as the Lady in the Lake. So the story with her is that she's seen wandering the park looking for her daughter. Now, she says, depending on the version that you hear, her daughter was either killed by her boyfriend or was killed by a group of criminals. But she's not able to find her, so she's kind of obsessively wandering around looking for her daughter's body. Now, the legend is that she either took her own life near the lake in this park, or she died kind of heartbroken and alone and unable to find her daughter. So she now haunts the area that she had been searching for her, which is really sad. I think the idea of a lady in white is really fascinating because the fact that she's wearing white kind of points to her purity, and that's kind of something that goes along with the story, where she was like a very good person and she was so devastated and heartbroken, and it's really sad. So because she's always seen in white, it kind of makes me wonder if these stories are actually true, or if these are legends meant to kind of scare people into being good and making sure that they do the right things always, which happens with a lot of our legends and stories, right? So I don't know, but I would be very fascinated to know if any of you have seen a lady in white. If you know a different story from the two that I told that you want to share, I would love to hear it. and what your thoughts are. Like, are these legends true? Are there a bunch of different spirits of women dressed all in white kind of wandering around, haunting different locations, looking for their lost loved ones? I want to know what you think. So yeah, that is it for the Lady in White for today, but I'll be back on another day with another video about something totally different. Okay, thanks guys, bye.